Hello everyone, welcome to the Joe Rocket Experience. We are here today with H3llish. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm finally.
You're finally existing.
I'm glad to be here. Finally, after waiting so long.
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, but the wait list is quite long.
Yeah.
So
No, I just more mean that many things have happened on Proton in the meantime.
yeah, true. So, H3llish, I'm sorry that we didn't have that many questions prepared for you today. People didn't really submit many. So I'm gonna improvise and ask you some of my own questions, right?
Yeah, that'll be.
Okay, so I'll start off with the two of them which we already have, and then go into the ones that I'm making up. So, Flanks asks, why no more holy light paintings?
It's more that I have too many projects to keep painting. I have two ideas for paintings, but they will only be created and then placed in presumably South Shore. Only after I'm done with some obligations have to do with Helios Pact.
Speaking of the Helios pact, how is Helios? Is Helios just like a mini Amar? Or how is it?
People keep saying it's Myanmar, but that's just not correct. Fear is Myanmar, but I would say Helios is much closer to a mini series pact than anything. Except Helios is functional, unlike series pact.
I have to be honest with you, I have no idea what the fuck a series pact is, but sure.
Well, series pact, from my knowledge, originated from a Helvetica pact, which was a alliance of Tansvike, the Kingdom of Luna, and Adeptus Mechanicus. But later, I think throughout the Terror War, maybe, I think right after the terror attack on Libra, I may be messing some things up, but Series Pact happened between Tansvike and Luna as a reaction to the allegations that the Adeptus were behind the Terror War.
Allegations which I'm pretty sure are true. I will share my reasoning behind this by the time the video comes out, by the time this podcast comes out, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they were true, right?
I mean, I wasn't there to witness anything, but I did read through the autobiography of Nathan Van Danziger, and I have talked to many people who have witnessed the attack on Libra and have witnessed the aftermath, like BCA, for example. Not BCA, sorry, Quintara.
Quintara, yeah.
The general consensus is that it was Varengol who may or may not have paid Palmet to attack Libra, but we don't know. We cannot be for sure. However, I did theorize that if the attack really was paid for by somebody, then there must have been a place and time when that happened, when the payment happened.
Yes.
So maybe somebody would be able to find where that happened.
I think we will get more info on the Terror Wars soon, from a very interesting perspective. But moving on to another question. What do you intend for the Mountains of Cinder?
Well, initially I claimed it to prevent other nations from claiming it and destroying the history that happened there, because the Mountains of Cinder, along with the deserts in Turtania, are the birthplaces for the Order of Cinder and the Kingdom of Evermond. It originated just from there. I do have plans to build a fortress there. However, I'm pretty sure it's going to end up just being a sanctuary for those who believe in the Sunlight Cult.
Could you please go a bit into the Sunlight Cult? Please explain more about it.
Oh, wait, about the Sunlight Cult?
Yes.
Well, the Sunlight Cult was created by Nexilitas construct in the very early days of his political life on Trotu. It started off as a sort of subject of the Church of the Holy Light. At core, it was a more zealous, more at times violent or judgmental form of the Holy Light, focusing on worshipping the sunlight. But as more scriptures were written and as more the religion came in depth, more disagreements appeared between the Holy Light and the sunlight. For example, the Chronicles of the Holy Light, specifically Volume 1 and 2, claim that the primary, some believe her to be a goddess, some believe to be a prophet, Mereldar, has the power to be resurrected. The Holy Light believers say that. However, Sunlight religion denies that possibility.
Oh, that is interesting. I'm gonna ask you something. It may be a bit sensitive, but ever since I've seen you appear on the lands of Troto, right? You've acted like an Evermondian. However, I do not remember you ever being part of Evermond. Could you please go into that?
Well, I do not remember much of my early days, same as many people on Trotu don't.
Yeah.
But what I do know is I've at least have memories of the events that happened, starting from the appearance of both Evermondians and Valions on Trotu. I suppose I was just on the sidelines this whole time.
Oh, okay. That's a good explanation. To be honest, I have no other questions, but I'm gonna make some up. All right?
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion about the Order of Cinder?
The Order of Cinder at core was a failed experiment. I have full archives of the, well, not full archives, but most of the archives from the Cinder times. They're public, just nobody wants to see them. And given the certain dispatches sent by Nixilitus, I'm getting an impression that it was definitely just a failed experiment. I don't know if you recall, but there was a period of time when Nixilitus had doubted his own faith.
I do recall that. That was right when Hidern got Nexilitus and got him to a temple in Atlasia, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, he fell into an avalanche in Novmir, and then Hidern appeared and saved him, brought him back to Atlasia, to Shanzhou. But at that point, I did not know whether the Order of Cinder was real or not, in the sense that was it really a monastic order, or was it just an organization bent on holding power? So for me, the Order of Cinder, the image of the Order of Cinder is valuable, and I value it within the Order of the Sancta Domina a lot. But the organization itself was a failure, considering only a minority actually believed in the faith. Because right after the Order of Cinder fell, it was revealed that many from the order believed in a more moon-oriented religion.
Judaism?
No. Blood Moon cult or something. It was the religion of the regime that occupied Evermond until Vernieva liberated it.
Oh. I remember that. I think I was there when Vernieva liberated Evermond.
I wasn't.
That's sad. That's quite sad. What's your opinion towards Nexilitas the first, and what about the second one? How do you
Well,
feel about them?
well, Nexelta's the first. Obviously, there's a level of respect coming towards the founder of Evermond. Considering I take pride in being an Evermondian, being an Evermondian nationalist as well.
Oh,
He's not a flawless person in any way, shape, or form. There are many flaws. For example, I did not expect him to just disappear during the Great War like this.
yeah,
Uh,
that was quite
but
anticlimactic.
I think everybody deserves to be remembered not just for their failures, but also for their achievements. For example, some people, many people don't, but some people underestimate the Order of Cinder and the Kingdom of Evermont at both of the peaks. Uh, uh, at first, when the Order of Cinder was still around, when it was the number one military power around the world, and both just prior to the Great War, when it also was one of, if not the most military adept nations out there.
Oh,
Exiltus II is also invaluable to the people of Evermont. For example, in the preamble to the second constitution of Evermont, it is mentioned that Nexiltus II, at the time known as Geitori, held unto the crown of Evermont given to him by Emmerich Koskiov, Tsar of
oh,
Fernieva.
my husband, yeah.
Yes, your husband. Was given the crown and kept Evermont alive throughout the existence of the first Chesapeake Federation.
That is true.
I cannot comment on the post Great War Evermont because I have not witnessed much of Nexiltus II before Chesapeake was reformed.
What do you think of Chesapeake?
Well, I am at core an Evermondian nationalist, so I do not like the idea of Evermont being a subsidiary of a different governmental organization. I believe it should at all times be independent and prospering in its own sovereignty, instead of being a state within another federation. So I'm very frequently critical of Chesapeake.
That
It's not
makes
it's not that I hate
sense.
people within Chesapeake, but I don't like the organization itself, the country itself.
Just because Evermont is in it, right?
Yes.
What if Evermont wasn't in it? How would you feel about Chesapeake then?
I'd probably be much more positive about it. I mean, considering recently changes were made to Hearthmount as the capital district of Evermont, change, I think that change was negative. I think that it should have remained capital of Evermont still. But
Yeah, I think that too, but it was ultimately Nextlit as the second choice.
yeah,
It was kind of
ultimately,
weird.
I think ultimately it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, I think ultimately it doesn't matter at large because Evermont is not just a location in Novemir. I think there's much more to it.
Huh.
I think
You
after
are
the passing of Nexiltus II, maybe South Shore will be the center of Evermondian nationalism instead of
hopefully,
Hearthmount.
hopefully.
I may or may not have plans regarding it.
Oh, that is good.
Considering the last living possible heir that was part of the Sunstruck family has died, maybe it's time to do something new.
Who was the last possible heir? Was Nexilitas the second part of Sunstruck? I don't believe so.
Well, according to himself, he was adopted by Nexilitas the First. However, Nexilitas the First also had a different son that being Croach. However, Croach is an acolyte of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Bleh, cringe.
Same as his step nephew, I suppose. I'm not sure how that family tree looks like. Fusion, who was I believe adopted by Brady Sunstruck, who is the brother of Nixiltus I. So maybe he did have some claim to the throne. However, that all doesn't matter considering Evermont prides itself on being a non-aristocratic monarchy.
Yeah. I mean, they're all forever Mondians now.
Yeah, that is recognized the term Forever Mondian.
You do not recognize that?
Yeah, I don't recognize the term.
Why?
I think Forever Mondians have I think just a Forever Chesapeake.
I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. Could
I
you
think
please?
Forever Mondians is just like a second term, like a synonym for Chesapeaker instead of Evermondian.
I do not think so, because I'm not a Forever Mondian, but I'm a Chega. Pledge is not a Forever Mondian, but he is a Chega.
Well, yeah, but then there's Flanks who is a Forever Mondian and is a Chega, but he's initially Palorian.
Yeah.
It's not like he was born in Heartman. Or
He wasn't.
came along with the Valiants or the Evermondians.
No, I don't remember how Flanks was born, to be honest. Just popped up one day.
Yeah, it's just a mystery of the land, I guess.
Yeah. Valor sure has some interesting ways of making characters develop, right? That's where Polly got the reverse aging process. That's where Flabby went crazy and now is doing the shit he's doing. So yeah, it sure has an impact on people.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I have received some more questions mid podcast by BCA. How did the Pepperland Ragwain War impact Helios?
I think we can both agree that it impacted, from a diplomatic standpoint, it impacted it more or less negatively, considering the Pepperland Ragwain War should have happened a long time before Pepperland joined Helios.
Yes.
However, it did give us a pretty valuable a possibility of initiating dialogue with the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before that, I don't know if this is sensitive information or not, but before that, Helios and the Adeptus Mechanicus didn't really have a dialogue open. And now we are choosing a representative to talk to the Adeptus.
That is very good.
Also, Pepperland joined Helios, and Pepperland was at times known to be an ally of the Adeptus, which is good for us.
Yes, I agree, that is very good. What do you think of Chesapeake taking part in the Pepperland Ragwain War?
I think they have a right to do this, considering the prior relations between Evermont, the second kingdom of Evermont, and Rugwain, just did not hold up like any value, considering Culiver, the last leader of Rugwain, died.
Yeah.
I don't know if he died or just vanished. I think it's fine. It's not like the lands of Ragwain were much developed, or Ragwain was governed by Ragwainians.
Yeah, it was just being hoarded.
Yeah, it was governed by the leader of another state within Ragwain.
Oh. Yeah, I know about that, but I don't know all of the details.
It's just a weird situation. I'm glad it's
Okay.
so.
Yes, same.
I'm glad that they did. The Adeptus did agree to put Pepperland and Ragwain on the blacklist for raids, so they couldn't be raided like raids and expeditions, so they couldn't be attacked like they were in the first Battle of Partagon.
Yes, I know. It was funny though, like for us Chegas, they came there and we just bribed them off, but the Pepperland had to fight. I don't think that's fair. They should have also had the option to bribe them off. Do you know how poor Adeptus members are? H3llish, do you know?
I don't, because from what I've heard, the Adeptus have communal ownership of pretty much everything.
Communists. So, think of this, H3llish. Proj and Trosta, which may be two of the best PvPers on Tro2, they asked for one netherite ingot for us not to fight them. That's all they wanted. So, of course, because we pitied them so much, we gave them more. But I think Kroj saying he has no money and is that desperate to just get one netherite ingot, that's gotta be bad. Especially, it really downgrades my view on acolytes, which was already pretty low since I'm a heretic.
Maybe if they weren't using all of their netherite to build up a massive armory, they would still have some money to spare.
Yeah.
This is what industrialization and militarization does. I mean, I don't even use money anymore.
Me neither. The only times I do use it is to commission builders, but I never shop for things anymore. It's just useless.
Yeah, I mean, netherite ingot that I keep just in case.
Yeah.
Recently, I mean, what made me not use netherite anymore was the egregious price to rent land for netherite. I had to pay 30 netherite ingots to rent the Isle of Leyland or Leviland for just 6 months.
Oh. That is.
I do plan to build there. It's just a very slow project.
Yeah, that makes sense. Moving on, BCA led a follow-up question. How do you want international perception to be? I'm assuming the international perception of Helios after the war.
I think the goal is to make people respect Helios, not through world policing or through instilling fear, but for standing for what's right. That's one of the ways. That's one of the reasons why Helios was created in the first place. It's to uphold the standards of peace and justice around the world.
What do you mean standing by what's right?
Well, for example, if an oppressive empire decides to spread its influence and attack an innocent small nation just developing, I think it's a personal duty of mine to intervene and help the underdog.
Just a big invading Ragwain.
Well, Ragwain is different because the war for Ragwain was at core a liberation war from the regime of the Imperials. I mean more as what the war between Arcania and Ricky Unity was.
I have to be honest, I don't remember that war. Could you please go into it?
The dictator in Arcania, known as Lichness, declared war and attacked Ricky Unity to occupy the island of Leyland. Not Leyland, Deepwater, which was historic Arcanian land. And at the same time, the Adeptus Mechanicus initiated a raid against Paradise City because King at the time was declared a heretic.
All right, so we have another example of Adeptus raiding heretics. I was only aware of the Streambot
Oh
example.
no, there's many examples of the Adeptus raiding heretic. Well,
Yeah, 'cause the last
and
time I
many
asked, they
also.
said stream was the only occasion.
No, it definitely was not the only occasion. I know that they did. So the island that I'm renting from Dunswijk, Laveland, has some historical significance in that the Adeptus have raided the island of Laveland when they were just starting, I think,
Mm.
for resource. They've also, I think, on multiple occasions, but maybe just once, have attempted to raid Dixie in the famous Battle of Charlotte when Dixie had agreed to join the EAC for protection. And also, well, you know of this, their attempted raid against the Rosarian Gardens when Brady was declared heretic.
I am aware of that, yes.
I think there's probably more examples of raids, but those are the couple that I know.
Well, damn, this really isn't a very good looking thing for Adeptus.
I think the Adeptus could still come out of this with their hands clean, considering they haven't been raiding anyone for quite a long time. I think if the allegations are true and Warren Gold did indeed pay for the attack, Pommet's attack on the Libra Peace Conference, I think if he just accepted the truth, accepted his participation that led to the start of the terror war, I think they would just come with their hands clean. It's not like anyone can do anything against them anyway.
Yeah, it's not like we're gonna do something now, especially how powerful they are.
Especially how much time happened since the terror war. It's been
Yeah,
over a month. Actually, it's not been over a month. It's just been under a
it's
month.
been
I think in like 3 days, it's going to be the anniversary of the end of the terror war.
damn. That's a long time.
I've recently started writing a book about the history of the Order of Cinder and of Evermond. So I had to look up all of the dates for events where Evermond and Cinder participated, and it did participate in both battles of the Terror War.
That is good. What are your thoughts on the Galadins and their independence?
I support their independence. I think I share the same exact ideal as Fear does of supporting secession movements because everybody deserves the right to freedom.
I agree.
Same as the Galadin. And also, I have a rather negative opinion of Occitania.
Why?
And well, there's many reasons why. For example, they've went back on two peace proposals. Both parties agreed to two peace proposals between Fear and Evermond. Not Fear, not Evermond. Sorry, between Fear and Occitania. And Occitania went back on both of them. Strictly speaking, the formal state of war between Occitania and Fear is still ongoing because of the decisions of Occitania.
That is something I wasn't aware of. Thank you for sharing that information. You know, I liked Occitania in the beginning. I was an Occitanian when I first joined Trotu, but I've started beginning to not like them so much, especially the Ostmasons family. Because Lucky and Tom, sure, but Dime is not a very cool individual.
Dime is a diplomatic miracle. It's a miracle that he did not have to pay as many reparations as he did
Yes.
for his continuous lapses in judgment.
You know, it's funny because to this day he's banned from Chesapeake due to him not paying reparations on the blowing up in Cormera. when he
Oh
blew
yeah,
up
I've heard of that situation. Yeah, I mean, it's not just Dime who is the odd one out from the Osmason family.
Oh,
Because
really?
yes, I have the archives from the Order of Cinder, and there he may or may not have had spies within the Order of Cinder. Namely, Cairn was spying for Lucky.
Oh,
Yes, it was during a time when the Order of Cinder had planned to go on a crusade against the Adeptus Mechanicus.
based Order of Cinder.
They never did, though, because of the decision
Unbased.
to Sunstruck to not cause a war.
Uncool. You should have done that.
mean-
Should we move on to other questions?
Sure, if you want to.
Why did you close your borders to Atlasia, Occitania, and Beleriand? Asks BCA.
Oh, I have. Well, it's more against Occitania and Ricky Unity because of the recently recent attacks on BCA in Sanikia. They've and their pressure they did on the Galadines. I think they Occitania and its allies, namely Atlasia, Ricky Unity, and Beleriand, they all serve an imperialist purpose from my perspective. So I don't see why I should be welcoming them in my land.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Resonance left a question. How did Evermontian culture end up in Astray? I like how South Shore started.
Well, South Shores just started in Astray from my desire to be closer to the center of events throughout Trotu, because throughout history, Evermont was situated decently far away from everything that was happening.
Of course.
And I wanted to change that. So at first, I went very far west, close to the former settlement of Lagros and to the former settlement of Belgrade, part of Peronoctua for a time. But after I discovered some old ruins there, I decided that I should look closer, and I saw this unclaimed chunk of Astray, which only had some ruins on it and just complete wilderness. So I decided to just stay there.
All right. That's a very good answer. Thank you for sharing that. What are your plans for Lievland?
Well, Laveland or Leviland, how Tom Mason calls it, which is apparently it was the original name, Leviland. That's not a playland. The plan is to build one of the headquarters for the Order of the Sancta Domina, and to build fortifications in there that should serve as a good bastion within the North Sea, close to the Doggeran Sea of the Dansoik Empire. It's because it's decently close to the Adeptus Mechanicus and to Ricky Unity, both of which I personally do not have very much trust in.
Yeah,
So
you've
I think I
mentioned
should
that.
consolidate and build fortifications in very easily fortifiable areas.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that. We have one more question, but I think I'd like you to go a bit more in depth on this one. So, what is Delosphere, and why do you think Randonite is in it?
Okay, well, at first, Delosphere, I theorized its existence many months ago in private communications within Helios Pact. I've theorized the existence of a network of international relations between Occitania and other nations, which were formerly either part of the Delos Pact or were connected to it in some way. But it more it was more developed into my idea that it's not just a um, it's not just a network of communications, but a full-on thing that everybody is aware of. Like, you know that the Freemasons, which were just the western part of the EAC that broke off, most
Yeah,
of them have joined the Adeptus Mechanicus.
I do
And they
know
were
that.
part of the EAC, which was part of Delos. And obviously there's Occitania, which was just the other part of the EAC. And Valerian, who I believe was also in Delos Pact. It all ties in together between Occitania, the Protectorate of Delos, which is governed by Alpha, and the Adeptus Mechanicus. And recently we have discovered that Occitania and the Adeptus Mechanicus have a contract as a mutual defense contract.
Oh, really? Do they?
Yeah, I think it was publicly stated during the Pepperland Rugwain situation.
I was not aware of it. Thank you for sharing it
Yeah,
then.
I believe it's not just the people of the former EAC and Valerian, but I think there are um, some persons who either unknowingly aid the existence and the regime of Delosphere, or maybe they do it purposefully, like Rendanite and King.
I
Rendanite, I do not have much trust in, considering she is both decently close to me and she is part of she was part of Dixie, which just it's part of my conspiracy theory that everybody is plotting to take land from most countries. For example, maybe some people who have connections to Dixie, they may want to have uh, the land in Britannia, formerly owned by Dixie, which is now known as Beersgard, which used to be known as Virginia, back onto Dixie, or just that sort of thing. I definitely believe that Rendanite is working together with Lucky Shark.
oh well,
It
I'll have you know that at least Chesapeake doesn't have any plans of taking bank land from anyone, so that's good.
I mean, yeah, but you did some expansion throughout Patri and Rugwain. I'm not against it.
We did, yes. The thing is, I wasn't really planning on staying in Patria at all. That was, as you said, a randomite decision. All I wanted to do was leave Patria, protect it for new people, and just leave it be. But we had to come to a compromise and keep some for Randomite's part of Chesapeake.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I am glad that Chesapeake did occupy that land. I think if anybody else did, they wouldn't have altruistic decisions or altruistic goals with the land of giving it to people that need it. I think it's the case with much of the land that gets abandoned. For example, Tesmos, which was claimed by King, and then no development happened there whatsoever.
Yeah. See, that's what I do not like. And that's what I'm trying to fix in Chesapeake. Of course, I'm not going to do this in a politically violent way. I don't plan on going to war with everyone who did that, but I really don't like it. And if there's a way to give it land back to new players.
Do you think there could be sort of an agreement between nations, like a big geopolitical decision or treaty or organization that would help with that?
I would love for that to be the case.
Yeah, I would love for that to happen for some organization or some memorandum that would redistribute land to those in need. Because land is ultimately the most valuable commodity.
It is, yeah. And I think there should be some kind of enforcement on do not claim land you are not going to use. I think that
Yeah.
should be something very enforced. Because on the thing I was telling you about Chesapeake, right? Many of the Mad Lads were in favor of voting for Randonite to have that land and not give it to new players until Randonite had publicly disclosed she would just want it as a buffer zone and wasn't planning on developing it.
Yeah.
Which that's not a very good idea for a land. Just
I think that's just not a very good idea to do with just anything,
yeah.
which is not developing it.
Yeah,
I
please
mean,
please develop your land.
yeah, that's why at core, at the start of it, I opposed the idea of the order in tempos led by Randonite, because I
Oh,
believe that it doesn't matter what it may do to the world. I think we should develop land regardless.
I kind of agree
Example,
with you.
Randonite wanted to take what's it called, Romifal, to restore an old settlement there, but it ultimately didn't happen.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you that we should develop the land and we should prosper. But then again, I do not agree with things like destroying historical stuff. For example, when Nexiditas II, may Contra bless him, was still around, uh, she was continuously asking if they could blow up Mittel, something which none of us really wanted to do. So we just had to talk her down a lot.
Personally, I would have blown up at least one building.
Oh. Which one?
Probably the bank building. Actually, no, probably not the bank building. That's pretty important. Just any of the empty skyscrapers in Metal. I think we should have toppled it when we had the
Yeah,
chance.
I think it would have been funny, but I would rather it not
I mean,
happen.
there are ways to currently develop Metal without
There are.
uh, disrespecting the history of the land.
Yes, there are. And, I think that stream should really work more in developing metal. Because it's a very good place to have. And, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very historical place. I mean, it is even connected to Evermondian history, even
Oh, really? Just by the Great War or
not
something
not
else?
just by the Great War, but a sort of Evermondian state existed just outside of Metal,
Oh.
in Munich, and the Kaiser's Palace, which is it's currently in Chesapeake, actually.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it's the area near Kioland, which at a certain period of time was populated by Nexeltas the First.
That is cool to know. I will make sure to have a historical monument there. Mention that.
I mean, I'd say the good historical monument was already built since the Kaiser's Palace was restored.
Oh, all right then. Do you have anything else to share next? I'm sorry. You remember you resemble a lot next to us, but
Yeah,
do you have
I,
anything else
yeah.
to share, Hellish?
I mean, I do. I could share some plans I have
Yes,
for
please
the
do.
near future. Um,
Please do that.
I've I've long wanted to make people call South Shore an Evermondian state or an Evermondian settlement. I sort of disagree with them, but maybe now is the perfect time after Nixilis II had passed away. I think now is the perfect time to actually start some real development of Evermond and create a new Evermondian state, which is currently one of the possible outcomes of the next couple of weeks, as
Yeah,
I have began writing a constitution
that
for
is very good.
For a new Evermondian state.
That is very good, and I hope you
Yeah,
do make that.
I mean, is there any like big projects that Chesapeake may be doing?
Well, yes, we plan on. Hold on, let me check plans for a second. Okay, so first of all, you know the desert around Tarbakar?
I think I do. Yeah.
Okay, so we plan on terraforming that completely and making that a forest biome, a plains biome, something like that, with more greenery. That is Kledge's plan. We're working on having a man-made river that will follow Chesapeake borders in I think the continent's name is Appalachia, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Appalachia.
yeah, I plan on having that river that follows the borders so that we would have a geographical border between us and Pepperland, which is the only other nation in there. And we're also working on a stadium for the Troto Olympics. You know, we're
That's
gonna
great.
host that run.
Oh, I do
Speaking
have
of,
also plans to build a stadium, but probably not for the Total Olympics. I think I have sent it many times.
1 second. So, could you please start off again?
I actually kind of forgot what I was talking about. For a
A
sec.
stadium. You're talking
Oh
about
yeah,
a stadium.
I was planning on building a not like a large stadium, but a decent stadium uh for jousting. I have
Oh,
even created a set of rules for it.
I like jousting.
Yeah, I think it could be a very spectacular sport if I do expand on it.
Same. And speaking of just big plans, we plan on releasing some territory soon. So
Oh,
we would be even smaller.
well, to be fair, it did grow quite significantly. I mean, it's currently the largest nation by area.
It did, and that was not the plan for it. That's not what I originally intended when I created Chesapeake. But we are working on making all of the land developed and making it a nice place to live in.
I mean, it's great that you do this. If Chesapeake has really good potential to be one of a global contender. Within Shoto.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Mm,
if it becomes more active within geopolitics, I would say so. Yeah.
I mean, that's something I plan on doing when I will become, if I do become the leader of Chesapeake, we will hold an election next month in 1 month and 3 days, and that will decide the new president for Chesapeake.
I mean, maybe you will be the new president of Ricky Unity as well.
Yeah, that was funny how I became the president. I candidated, and I was so close to winning.
I hope you would have. Well, yeah, I hope you would have won.
Yeah, it would have been funny.
Maybe I would have changed my outlook for Ricky Unity if that happened.
That would have changed my outlook too. Like I care about Rick Unity that much. Now I want to lead it.
Yeah.
Well, I sure hope they put me in the next election and vote for me.
I mean, I hope Chesapeake becomes more of a better, more consolidated state.
How do you propose we do that?
Um, I I don't even know. Maybe I would centralize it more. I think.
Oh, so you just
Either I would decentralize completely or centralize it entirely. I mean, at the moment, it's sort of it's like a representative republic, right?
yes, it is.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think a representative republic is very good um, per se with a population if the population does not engage in it. So I would much if I were the leader of Chesapeake, I would much prefer it to be either direct democracy or a more consolidated. Um, I would have consolidated the power of the leader,
Oh,
or just disperse it around in a citizen council like Kamar did.
well, we do have a citizen council kind of thing. So when Chesapeake will be in a few days, most of the inactive players will be gone, and the only remaining ones will be the active ones, right? So
Yeah.
we will have the Mad Lads. We would have the citizens representatives, which is like a Mad Lad, but it's not dependent of any state and is elected once every 2 months.
Mhm.
And the only one that I think would be remaining as a normal citizen is either Streambot or Flabby, depending on who wins the citizens representative vote.
I mean, I definitely hope Flabby doesn't.
Same. And Flabby,
That
I
would
don't know.
be quite a negative for Chesapeake, I believe.
Yeah, and I don't know. It seems like Flabby's time in Chesapeake is coming to an end. He's really fucked
I
up a
mean,
lot.
Chesapeake, Flabby was indeed a member of Evermond also.
Yeah,
From the goodness of the heart of Nixiltus the First, he was given a place in Evermond. Maybe that was, in hindsight, a bad decision.
yeah. You know, we really tried to make it work. We first exiled him, but then kept him in. But he was still in Chesapeake. We really tried to make him work, but he's just going out of his way to fuck up Chesapeake.
Yeah, I mean, some people just want to see the world burn. What can I say?
Yeah, it's. I think that that's what Flabby said when he got all his money from selling all of his record-breaking books. He probably just. I don't think for him it's about the money. It's about sending a message. Yeah. Do you have anything else you wanted to share?
Probably not. I think I've answered the questions pretty decently.
Okay, that I think you did. Well, thank you for
Thank you for having me.
thank you for coming on the Joe Rocket Experience. We didn't have a sponsor for this episode, but just I'm gonna shout out the what's a place? What's a good shop? Hellish.
I will I will shout out the military industrial complex of the Federation of East America's Republic.
Yeah, please go there. And I don't know, can you shop there?
Donate us emeralds for a good cause.
Sure. Yeah, please go
And
there
gold. Gold.
and donate. Also buy the WWO. That's a good
Oh yeah, that's a very
wallpaper.
good newspaper.
Newspaper, yeah. I'm sorry. Well, thank you for listening on the Joe Rocket Experience. Goodbye.